There's a holiday merry market going on right now in Webb City, Missouri, but are supply chain issues affecting local shoppers? Webb City businesses and the Chamber of Commerce discuss that coming up.
President Biden met with his cabinet to discuss the implementation of his recently passed bipartisan infrastructure bill. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the details and the potential snag holding up the other piece of massive legislation he wants passed.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. Four-state shoppers are getting a jump on those holiday gift shopping. KOAM's Mike Mahoney checked in with the Webb City Chamber of Commerce and some local businesses participating in Webb City's Holiday Merry Market to learn if supply chain issues are affecting the season.
The downtown Webb City Holiday Merry Market is underway, and the Webb City Chamber of Commerce says things are off to a good start, with the city seeing an increase in sales taxes compared to 2020.
We offer 75 VIP passes for this event, for example, and they sold out within the hour that we put them on sale.
Webb City's Community Development Coordinator says, with supply chain issues making national news, local shoppers have responded by getting an early start on holiday shopping.
I've heard more from maybe the general public saying there's been a delay in maybe if they're trying to build a house or remodel or things like that. But when it comes to their shopping or their Christmas gifts, I think that most people were planning and they just thought, well, I got to, purchase a little bit early.
Webb City businesses participating in the Holiday Merry Market who spoke with KOAM agree with the Chamber's assessment and say they've noticed those early holiday shoppers in 2021.
I have noticed some of it, but I knew this was going to happen, so I started buying early. I started buying our Christmas and making our Christmas way early.
Webb City's Twisted Oak Boutique says supply chain issues have been frustrating because they've created inconsistencies in when items arrive. But that hasn't stopped them from being ready for early holiday shoppers. Do you hear people saying they have concerns about what's going on over in California?
Yes, we get people all the time asking if we're not getting our stuff in, but I feel like we have pretty much been getting our stuff.
In Webb City, Missouri, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The downtown Webb City Holiday Market continues tomorrow. Doug Katie joined us now after getting back from holiday shopping for me. Take it away, Doug.
Nope, I haven't started any shopping. You're a little far down on the list. I'll get to you.
All right, man.
But I won't do it till like December 20th because I'm a procrastinator.
That's my birthday.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
All righty, outside for us today, cooler day. We had some sunshine late morning, and then the clouds rolled in, even some light little snow showers in our northern counties during the afternoon hours. But 52 started at 42. All the clouds, light little flurries are pretty much out of here. We're starting to clear out, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the rest of the overnight hours. But with the skies clearing out, our temperature is going to take a dip. Already we're sitting mid to upper 30s. We're going to go into the upper 20s later on tonight. So a hard freeze across the region. Of course, we're going to look at the weekend here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thanks so much, man. Missouri American Water is trying to educate Joplin residents about fire prevention. The company today donated $1,200 to the Joplin Fire Department. Those funds are going to be used for communications equipment and protective gear, including safety vests to be worn on the scene of traffic accidents. Money will also go toward training materials for public education.
This money specifically will be used in our fire prevention division to help purchase materials for our education programs that we take out to the public on an annual basis. It will also help us with our smoke detector program.
Missouri American Water has donated grants to 36 other fire departments in its service area. President Biden and his cabinet gathered at the White House to tout the recently passed bipartisan physical infrastructure bill. The president says he's going to announce a point person to oversee how the money is being spent soon. But supply chain bottlenecks, as we were hearing about earlier, and concerns over inflation threatening to overshadow the administration's big legislative victory. Skyler Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
President Biden and his cabinet met to discuss implementation of the bipartisan physical infrastructure bill, which will give $1 trillion boost to repair the nation's roadways and public transit, as well as expand access to broadband and clean drinking water.
It will create millions of new jobs, will grow the economy, and will win the world economic competition.
The bill also includes $17 billion to modernize ports and help alleviate supply chain bottlenecks. Both are fueling anxiety over holiday shopping as well as inflation. This week, federal data showed consumer prices are 6.2% higher than this time last year, and that a record 4.4 million Americans quit their jobs in September.
Our view is that the real risk here is inaction.
The Biden administration is pushing Congress to pass the nearly $2 trillion Build Back Better plan to help ease economic pressures. It contains tax credits and provisions that are aimed at reducing child care, housing, and prescription drug costs.
This is part of a really comprehensive plan to keep the growth going, but also to focus on those pain points around inflation, around price pressures.
But West Virginia's Joe Manchin, whose vote is crucial to getting the bill passed in the Senate, signaled his concern, tweeting, "The threat posed by record inflation is getting worse. D.C. can no longer ignore the economic pain Americans feel every day." House Democrats say they plan to vote on the Build Back Better Act sometime next week.
Americans continued to quit their jobs at a record clip in September to either retire, drop out of the workforce, or to work elsewhere. The Labor Department's Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey says 4.4 million people quit their jobs, which amounts to about 3% of the nation's workforce. There were more than 11 million job openings in early November. That's according to jobs site Indeed, well above the number of unemployed workers. Inflation is soaring across the country and is even impacting a famous New York staple. Fox Business Network's Madison Allworth has more.
It's a sign of the times. New York City's iconic $1 slice, now it's going to cost you $1.50. Two Bros Pizza in Manhattan, they've been charging $1 for their slice of pizza since they opened in 2008. But now, thanks to record high inflation, a slice of cheese pizza here in Chelsea, it's going for $1.50. No one is safe from record inflation, now at an over 30-year high. Staple ingredients are up big for things like New York's famous cheese pizza. According to the latest data, wholesale food prices that restaurants pay is up 13% year over year. That's the largest year-to-year increase in 40 years. The owners of this shop, Two Bros Pizza, saying, quote, "Inflation is affecting every single ingredient, every single item we use. Flour, cheese, tomatoes, gloves, paper goods, paper plates, napkins, everything. Labor is definitely going up as well." And the customers we spoke to yesterday say they are noticing the cost of everything go up, and the 50% increase in New York's best deal is just the latest in a string of sticker shock.
I just hope things don't get too expensive. Like, I'm not paying, $5 a gallon or whatever? Like, that's insane.
When I used to live in New York, I remember it was my savior a couple times a week. So I can imagine for a lot of everyday people in New York, it's getting a little tougher.
It's annoying, inconvenient.
There are a number of things leading to this inflation. As we mentioned, the cost of individual goods is up, the cost of labor is up, and supply chain issues are also leading to this problem. But even with a 50% increase in price for $1.50, this is still the cheapest meal that you can get in New York City. In New York City, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Joplin area Catholic schools today honored the nation's veterans. St. Peter's and McCauley Catholic watched a Veterans Day tribute video, and every hour they learned about a branch of the armed forces and prayed for it. Over at St. Mary's, students received a prayer and a toy soldier to keep on their desks to remember the sacrifice made by our service members.
Well, it's not only important to honor the sacrifice and encourage that our veterans and active military have made for our country, but it's also important in a school setting to teach those values and those morals and the importance and the calling that our service men and women make for our country.
St. Mary's also has a wall of honor for students to submit photos of family members who are serving or have served in the military. KOAM News at 9 and Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Edwin Holtzman served in the U.S. Army from 1973 to 79. Native of Thayer, Kansas, Holtzman was stationed in Germany, earning several awards. We are proud to thank and salute Sergeant Edwin Holtzman, tonight's four-state hero. Doug Heddy's next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, an area high school softball standout signing to continue her career at Pitt State.
Chilly day for us today. We had a little bit of rain late last night, then some sunshine during the morning hours, clouds during the afternoon, a few spitting flurries out there, but we stayed in the upper 40s throughout the day. We had actually a midnight high into lower 50s, but 40s all day long. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Parking lot filling up, of course. It is a Friday night heading into the weekend. Looks pretty good. It's just cold outside, plus the wind makes it feel a little bit colder. In a couple months, this is actually not going to be bad, but we're just not used to it yet. 34 in Nevada, 39 in Anderson, 37 in Miami, 36 in Pitt. Independence is checking in at 35 degrees. And we have these northwesterly winds all day long. Kind of breezy, which has made it feel a little bit colder than what it actually is. The winds have diminished just a little bit, but still enough that it gives us wind chill factors right around 30 degrees. So that's the way it actually feels to your skin, and our actual temperature will drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight. All right, 37 northwest winds at about 5 to 10, humidity at 59%, but any of the clouds that we had earlier today and a few spitting little flurries, these are gone. We're clearing out. We're going to have pretty much clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. So this storm system is heading away from us. The reason we're so cold is as it wraps up across the Great Lakes, look at our jet stream all the way out of Canada, all the way into the southern plains. So it kind of pulls that colder air off toward the south. Here's our next little wave. This will kind of clip us late tomorrow night and then heading into Sunday morning. All right, let's go through time during the overnight hours tonight. Just cold all the way back into the upper 20s for overnight lows, but we're going to have clear skies. We're going to have plenty of sunshine as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. However, temperatures still kind of chilly, a little bit better than what we had today, but still kind of cold. 28 to start, 47 by noon, and a high temp of 52. We'll have northwesterly winds kind of switching to the southwest as we work into the afternoon hours. Tomorrow night, clouds increase again, that next little wave, very weak wave, may get a random shower, a few sprinkles into Sunday morning. Then we look okay, partly sunny skies by the afternoon as we go into the mid 50s by Sunday afternoon. By Monday, we start to see a change. The winds switch back toward the south, and that's going to help us warm up. So that means 60s for highs on Monday. That means near 70 by the time we head into Tuesday. Weak system's going to roll in on Wednesday, so a little bit cooler Thursday, and then a little better chance for rain back in by the time we head into Friday. So two systems we'll keep our eyes on next week. 52 tomorrow, 55 Sunday, 63 Monday, 70 on Tuesday, and then cooling back down late next week.
You said it earlier, you know, a lot of it depends on what we're used to.
Yeah, we're not used to this.
No.
I mean, in February or January, it'll be pretty nice.
Another light go out?
Yeah, that light's been messing with me for quite some time now.
All right, we'll fix that. All right, Doug, thanks so much. Coming up, doctors sounding another alarm.
Vaccination rates are up, but so are hospitalizations, and another COVID surge could be just around the corner. I'm Griff Jenkins in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is warning people about the measles. The agency says the highly contagious virus is once again a global threat. That's because some 22 million babies around the world missed getting a measles vaccine during the pandemic. CDC estimates the measles vaccine prevents more than 30 million deaths each year. Still, more than 60,000 people pass away each year from measles, and most of those deaths are among young children. With COVID cases and hospitalizations on the upswing again, some doctors say a new COVID surge could be just around the corner. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins has more from D.C.
We're not out of the woods yet. Health officials are warning of a possible fifth COVID surge, with cases spiking in more than a dozen states and hospitalizations on the rise as well. In Colorado, hospitals are so overwhelmed, officials have enacted crisis standards of care. The National Guard helping staff some hospitals, and at least 3 FEMA medical surge teams have been deployed. And on Thursday, Governor Jared Polis signed an executive order allowing booster shots for all adults in the state, saying it's the best way to bring infection rates down.
I really encourage everybody to get that third dose of the vaccine. I got mine, and I'm 46. I get it no matter what your age.
Meanwhile, the feds are making a big push to get kids to roll up their sleeves. By the end of the weekend, the CDC says more than 1 million children ages 5 to 11 will have gotten their first dose, and in some areas, demand is starting to outpace supply.
As soon as the authorization went in, we started refreshing like the Walgreens website and the CVS website and trying to find an appointment.
There have been no widespread reports of serious side effects, but one pharmacy in Northern Virginia announced this week they gave adult doses to more than 100 children. Officials are investigating the mistake and hoping it doesn't add to the lingering vaccine hesitancy.
But a lot of people are still waiting.
And the CDC says kids given the wrong dose can still proceed with the second dose 3 weeks later. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Next, going to see how several craft beer breweries are reinventing business models because of this pandemic. Version of a previous lawsuit against Subway over its tuna sub sandwiches has emerged. This one claiming additional products were found in those sandwiches. The new claims say Subway tuna contains proteins like chicken, pork, and, quote, cattle. And it's not. It's 100% tuna like Subway advertises. Subway, for its part, has maintained its tuna is, quote, wild-caught, 100% tuna after 2 prior lawsuits. Subway says it's going to seek to dismiss the, quote, reckless and improper 3rd lawsuit. Supply chain bottlenecks are affecting the production of aluminum, causing numerous businesses that use the metal to make products we rely on nearly every day to feel the strain. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has more on how the craft beer industry in particular is working through this struggle.
An aluminum shortage is causing concerns for businesses across the country, with clogs in the supply chain slowing down the import of raw materials needed to make the metal, causing problems creating auto parts, construction tools, and cans for brewing companies. And the limited supply, coupled with rising demand, is only driving up costs for consumers.
We were consuming at a rate that had never been consumed prior.
For local craft breweries, the aluminum shortage is coming at an inconvenient time as many are starting to use a greater number of cans than ever before. Early COVID-19 restrictions in many states prevented customers from entering tap rooms for a pint, leaving breweries with hundreds of gallons of beer and no one to drink it.
We had to have some sort of a packaging service to get us out into the community and to keep selling beer during the pandemic.
Craft breweries without access to a packaging facility, however, are turning to some creative solutions with the help from Roadie Canning Solutions.
We have a mobile canning operation designed to support small and medium producers.
Mobile canning machines like this one are not only providing more beer for customers, but signs of relief for small business owners crippled by the pandemic.
We survived because of mobile canning.
The owner of Roadie Canning Solutions says he has been offering his services for free to help take financial burden away from local breweries trying to make back profits they lost last year. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Coming up, going to hit up Google to find out the most searched holiday gift ideas. Here's what's on the top of everyone's wish list this year. Google has a 100 trending gift search thing going on. Google Shopping has compiled its yearly list of gifts predicted to top everyone's holiday lists this year. The search engine uses results from the past few months to create its master registry. So this year, some of the hottest gifts for kids includes Gabby's Dollhouse Perfect Dollhouse Playset, Pokemon Celebrations Deluxe Pin Collection, and Paw Patrol Life-Size Tower. Gamers and techies might be interested in some of that stuff, a Nintendo Switch OLED, PlayStation 5, or a new Apple product. While the chef in your family is probably eyeing an air fryer or new coffee maker. Keurig right there. So, Doug Hetty, when you go shopping for me on December 20th, you know what? I'm going to take a new Corvette.
Oh, I would like one too.
And it's going to cost a pretty penny too, because I think later on we're going to hear how much prices of new cars, yeah.
Vegas is like $65,000.
And just the price of new cars have gone up. We're going to hear that a little bit later. 31 minutes news, weather, and sports coming away. The modern explorers, 2 of them, discovering new caves beneath Roaring River State Park. Going to hear about that. Also a chance for people to get some holiday shopping done early while also helping the Children's Miracle Network. Divers in Castle, Missouri aims to go deeper into the springs at Roaring River than anyone has done before. KOAM's Brian Sorotsky spoke with divers at the springs to learn what they discovered deep underwater.
A team of divers in Cassville, Missouri is on a mission.
We've gone deeper here than anyone else has ever gone.
The divers' journey begins here at the Roaring River Springs. From here, they'll go down to 230 feet below the surface.
That's the equivalent of like a 23-story building as far as how deep underwater we are.
It's down there that the team of divers called KISS, Keep It Super Simple, discovered a massive room.
There's a small tunnel, and then it just starts opening up. And it's opening up into this room that we have no idea how big it is because we can't see. You know, on the best time in there, we could see about 30 feet, and we could see one wall and sometimes the ceiling. But we could not see the bottom, and we cannot see the other side.
The team is recording their discoveries with the hope of turning them into a documentary.
And we're exploring. So we're creating a map of all of the unexplored area.
Randall Purdy, a videographer for the dive team, says the room they found when diving is unusual, to say the least.
Typically, water is going to keep going in one direction. So for the idea that the water has come in and eroded this giant chamber and then found a way out basically in the middle of it, that's what's really weird about it. Last time we were here, we actually, in that room, we went clear to the surface. That's another one of those things that doesn't happen very often. We've got these really bright spotlights, and they wouldn't touch any of the walls. They wouldn't touch the walls, wouldn't touch the ceiling, wouldn't touch the floor. So I mean, it's literally just a giant open abyss. We weren't expecting to find anything like that. Like I said, it's really unheard of to find big cave after a small tiny restriction. That's kind of unique.
The team says they will continue exploring this abyss until they can get to the bottom of it, if they ever can. In Cassville, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
That's really cool. Now on Saturday, the dive team is going to attempt to beat the record for deepest cave dive, aiming to beat 462 feet underwater. Freeman Health System today welcomed in some holiday shoppers. Now we know what month it is. It's November, right? But it never hurts to get in some early shopping. Hospital hosted what it calls the Miracle Market. It featured 15 vendors selling handmade gifts, jewelry, art crafts, and even clothing. The miracle is in the work that this market is supporting.
We do different fundraising events throughout the year. We, being a CMN hospital, we have different national partners. Walmart, Sam's Club, Dairy Queen, Ace Hardware, to name a few. And so they're always doing roundup at the register. You can do the iconic miracle balloons that they'll sell for $1.
Vendors included Pampered Chef, Gigi's Glass Art, KK Sewing, and others. PSU's social work students putting a spotlight on incarcerated artists. Bailey Lulin is hosting an art exhibit featuring the work of the artists. The exhibit is part of an effort to bring awareness to mass incarceration and to create other pathways for rehabilitation. Lulin says she became interested in working for criminal justice reform when she realized the U.S. incarcerates a higher percentage of people than any other country in the world.
The United States incarcerates more than 2.3 million people, which is more than any other country in the world, including the ones that people kind of view as the bad guys like China, Iran, Iraq, places like that. We incarcerate more than they do. And so a lot of those, I think on average, it's 110 million people have an adult in their lives who is incarcerated.
The work is going to be sold in a silent auction. The money raised will be donated to Dream Corps Justice, an agency that works on local, state, and federal levels to divert people from prison. All right, new car prices surged to a record high last month. Well, listen closely. Buyers paid more sticker price amid an environment of strong demand but tight supply. The average transaction price for new vehicles sold in the U.S. in October rose 12.9% year over year to $46,036, according to Kelley Blue Book. Prices were boosted by higher luxury sales and a preference for large SUVs and pickup trucks. Luxury sales rose to 16.3% of the total market, up from 15.2% just last year. The average price for a luxury vehicle was about $61,000. The average selling price for all vehicles was 2% or $800 above the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Crucial turning point in Kyle Rittenhouse's murder trial in Wisconsin. Testimony ended yesterday when the defense rested its case. The 18-year-old claims he was defending himself when he shot 3 men, killing 2 of them during a protest after a police shooting in Kenosha. Prosecutors allege he went there with a rifle to cause trouble. Reporter Nancy Chen is outside the courthouse in Kenosha.
What was going through your mind at this particular moment?
that I was going to die.
A week of oftentimes emotional testimony, including the possibly pivotal moment when Kyle Rittenhouse himself took the stand, ended with the defense portraying a chaotic and fast-moving chain of events on that summer night in Kenosha. As one of their experts said, the shootings that ultimately killed 2 and seriously wounded another man unfolded in mere minutes.
What is the total amount of time of this event?
2 minutes and 55 seconds, approximately. It's calculated out. There's a bunch of variables in there.
The jury also seeing new videos shot by a blogger who backed Rittenhouse's claims he had reason to fear for his life. Drew Hernandez testified that Joseph Rosenbaum, who Rittenhouse shot and killed, posed a threat.
He led the charge into the gas station. He was getting physically aggressive.
The prosecution worked to paint Hernandez as biased, referencing social media comments he had made in the past.
Have you ever posted anything on social media?
Yes.
In support of Kyle Rittenhouse?
One could argue yes.
There was also continued tension between prosecutor Thomas Binger and Judge Bruce Schroeder.
Don't get brazen with me.
After the two repeatedly clashed Wednesday, this time over what video could be analyzed.
Yesterday, I was the target of your ire for disregarding your orders. Today, the defense is disregarding your order.
The judge has yet to rule on the defense's motion for a mistrial with prejudice, which means this trial would be over and Rittenhouse could not be charged again. In the meantime, as we do near a verdict, Kenosha police say they're getting ready.
A little bit later. Tomorrow is World Kindness Day. Going to see how an artist is taking part in that and how kindness itself is important to a healthy life.
Chilly day for us today. We had the clouds during the afternoon, even a few flurries kind of spitting out there, especially in our northern counties. But the wind made it feel even colder than what it actually was. But we kind of hung out into the upper 40s all day long. Looks good. Right now we're clearing out. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Parking lot filling up just a bit. Of course, it is a Friday evening, a cold one. But we are heading into the weekend. 34 in Fort Scott, 35 in Pitt. We have Neosho at 37. We have Veneta at 37. We have Neodesha at 34. And everybody's going to drop back into the upper 20s later on tonight. So a pretty good freeze across the region. And it's been windy all day long. The winds are diminishing just a bit, but still kind of breezy out there, so it makes it feel even colder than what it actually is. So our feels like temperature, or our wind chill, makes it feel like about 30 degrees, so about 3 or 4 degrees colder than what it actually is. Outside, 7th and Range Line, we have pretty much clear skies now. Northwesterly winds at about 5 to 10. Humidity is at 59%. The thicker clouds, we still got a few clouds rotating through, but the thicker clouds are out of here, and we'll eventually get mostly clear skies later on tonight as this storm system is rotating away from us. And on the back side, we have the colder air, which is dipping in, and another weak little wave out across the Pacific Northwest, which will give some clouds, maybe a random shower by the time we head into early Sunday morning. Overall, it's going to be a nice weekend for November. Still kind of chilly. Cold start, upper 20s. Quite a bit of sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures are going to warm, a little bit warmer than what we saw today. 28 in the morning, 47 by noon. High temp of 52 during the afternoon. Tomorrow night, clouds roll in. We may get a random sprinkle or two late tomorrow night into Sunday morning, but most of the energy is going to stay to the north and east of us. And then we'll break out, see partly sunny skies. Sunday, not bad, a little bit warmer as we go into the mid-50s for highs. But southerly winds, they start to return by the time we head into Monday. This is going to allow us to go into the 60s for highs. And then by Tuesday, we're going to go near 70s. So a big turnaround by early next week. We do get a cold front in on Wednesday that may give us a few showers. So by Thursday, we cool back down just a bit. And then by Friday, here comes our next wave, which looks like rain, but you can see mixing with a little bit of snow just to the north of us. So we'll have to watch this wave as we get into late next week. But overall, we just have two systems we really got to deal with as we go into next week. 52 tomorrow. Again, we're going to start at about 28, so pretty cold. Random shower early Sunday, 55, 63 Monday, 70 on Tuesday, 67 on Wednesday, and then cooling back down into the 50s by late next week.
All right, so the Chiefs Going to get a W this weekend?
I think they will.
All
I
right.
think they're going to.
It's not going to be easy, though, right?
I think they're going to win by at least a touchdown.
All right. All right, man.
Ask me on Monday.
All right. Coming up in sports, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holt, is previewing the team's Sunday night football matchup against the division rival Raiders. Plus, an area high school softball standout signing to continue her career at Pitt State.
Well, today is a big day for McDonald County High School senior Madeline McCall. McCall signs her letter of intent today to continue her softball career in college. And McCall signs this afternoon to head to Southeast Kansas, play for the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. And McCall has been an outstanding pitcher for McDonald County. She's a 3-time first-team All-Region selection. She was also first-team All-State and the Big 8 Pitcher of the Year her senior season.
There's no ceiling on her potential, especially with the way that she works. We refer to her as a gym rat. I don't know if there's a gym rat in softball, but she's here all the time on her own, putting in extra work. So as long as she continues that, there's no telling where she'll get to at the college level, but we'll be excited to watch and see where that goes.
It mentally prepared me for the next level. My coaches were great, and they worked with me, and all the countless hours that we spend in the barn working at pitching, hitting, and I'm really thankful for all that I got here.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 5-4 in their first 9 games of the season. Last week, they picked up a 13-7 win over the Packers at home. And this week, the Chiefs are back on the road facing the Raiders on Sunday night. Like we do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
My mom used to say, "That drives me up the wall," if something was making her crazy. I was never quite sure what she meant until I see these Chiefs giveaways at an alarming rate from a good Chiefs team. Now, the Chiefs in the first half of this 2021 season had the second most giveaways in franchise history. That covers 62 years. This week is Raiders week, and I'm as fired up as any red-blooded card-carrying member of the Chiefs kingdom. But as Royals analyst Rex Hudler would say, the giveaways have got to go. Here's something to consider. The Chiefs have dominated the Raiders under Andy Reid. In 16 meetings of Reid's red-clad team and the hated Raiders, the Chiefs have won 13 games and lost just 3. I looked at every one of those games and found the Chiefs were plus 19 in the giveaway-takeaway ratio. On this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Sunday's Chiefs-Raiders game kicks off at 7:20 on Sunday night. The Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites, aiming for their 4th win in 5 games. And that's a look at sports. Be sure to switch over to our sister station, KOAM Channel 7 at 10. We'll have plenty of local high school football playoff highlights and scores, including Class 5 District 6 championship game between Webb City and Carthage. We're back after this.
Tomorrow is World Kindness Day, a chance for people all over the globe to do something good for someone else. Naomi Ruckham shows us how one artist is spreading kindness and why it can make all of us a little happier.
Jason Naylor's mantra is kindness.
The work that I do makes me feel good, and I want to share that with other people.
Through vibrant colors on walls across the country, his message shines bright.
When someone walks by this mural, what do you hope they see, feel, think?
When people see my work, when they walk by it, I want them to feel joy. I want it to kind of pull them from their troubles.
You don't have to be an accomplished artist to spread the word this World Kindness Day. Kindness.org research director Dr. Oliver Scott Curry says even a small gesture can go a long way.
We found that some of the simplest things are seen as the kindest, the most effective things to do. Simple things like just checking in with someone and asking how they're doing, surprising someone with their favorite things.
A recent survey from Kindness.org and Verizon found a high capacity for kindness across the United States, with Americans listing covering a shift for a coworker, cheering up a family member, or calling a friend to encourage them as the top kind acts you can plan ahead.
Acts of kindness don't only make others feel good. Research shows being kind makes all of us happier and healthier.
It's been shown to lower blood pressure, to reduce social anxiety, and to boost our immune systems. There's also research showing that helpful people are healthier and live longer.
So while this weekend will be an opportunity to share and promote that joy,
The world needs it, not just Saturday, but always.
it's also a reminder we don't need a special day or reason to be kind.
In honor of World Kindness Day, artist Jason Nadler and collaborator Menso Lindsay are taking their mural to the blockchain. The piece is going to go up for an auction on an NFT platform, and half of the money raised will be donated to kindness.org. Up next, making the old new again.
Turning your gas guzzler electric. I'm Ian Lee with why some of the newest electric cars on the road are also some of the oldest.
So electric cars are growing more popular, but some drivers can't bear to part with those old classics. I don't blame them. Some of them are beautiful. Reporter Ian Lee shows us how one mechanic in London is steering vintage vehicles, in particular, into the future.
On the surface, they look like any classic cars. You can't see what makes them special, and you can't hear it either.
Smooth and quiet is what electricity does perfectly.
But peek under the hood, and you can see how Matthew Quitter converts classic cars into electric rides at his London-based garage.
We have customers from all over the world.
Converting gas guzzlers helps the environment, especially since more than 1 million cars in the UK end up on the scrap heap every year.
Scrapping cars is not a good thing to do. It's sort of fairly well known now that half of a car's lifetime CO2 output is during manufacture.
We took a ride in his electric 1953 Morris Minor.
You become slightly more aware of how stinky a lot of other cars are.
Gearheads might find his conversions sacrilege, but rest assured, the charm remains.
Bit's just fallen off.
a little bit of a classic car issue.
Exactly.
Guy Wilner didn't have a problem swapping motors in his 1969 Land Rover Series 2A. The electric touch didn't disappoint.
Oh, it's brilliant fun. It's brilliant fun. It's absolutely hilarious. I mean, it's a hilarious car.
Converting a car with used parts from crashed electric vehicles can set you back at least 30 grand. But for Matthew, it's not just about the money.
Once they get in the car and it's converted, you get a big EV grin, and that's it. They're never going back.
Leaving gas in the rearview mirror as they drive their converted classics into the 21st century.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of a panda in China playing in the snow. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.